just wanted to do a quick little shout out, a little promotion for this business, and a thank you, an unofficial thank you to them. This is Heavy Equip Houston. If you guys are in the Houston area and have any needs at all for undercarriage work on your heavy equipment, this is the place to go. For my particular case, looking at Rosie, I broke that yoke assembly, so I had to bring it here. There's very few places that actually have a press that can compress that spring and take that apart. So here's what's left of my parts and pieces. Unfortunately, we started shopping parts to rebuild mine, and because it was so chewed up and so screwed up, just the cylinder alone inside that slack adjuster was $6,000. So it's not happening for me, not on my old part machine. I found a takeout assembly. It's supposed to be here tomorrow. Not here to Heavy Equip, but here in Houston. So I came down here today to get all my parts and pieces back. They started tearing it down. They put a lot of time into this thing looking for parts and pieces. They actually had to start cutting. They were having to cut my spring because I chewed the yoke down so far they couldn't safely compress it to take it apart. So anyway, they did me right for sure. Like I said, they have time into this. They're not charging me anything for the tear down. They helped me find what I needed. They got me the bolts that I needed to put this thing back together. So again, unofficial shout out for Heavy Equip in Houston. If you guys have any undercarriage needs for your heavy equipment, this is the place to be. Alright, so here's our latest adventure with Rosie. Oh, finally got my new part in, my new to me part. This is the takeout slack adjuster assembly I got from Blount Parts in Georgia. And you can see the yoke is intact, very much unlike mine. The main big nut there in the middle that keeps it all tight is all there, which is just incredible to look at what this one is, how much material's there compared to how much was gone off of mine. It's really truly amazing, and I don't really consider myself all that absent-minded of an operator, but I really truly had no idea that there was anything wrong with the slack adjuster, and then it just breaks. And so had a good look at that yoke. Now we can look at what's left of my yoke. And you can see I chewed out, that much material just gone. Look how close that was. That has started to crack, but it hadn't broke all the way through yet, but of course the other side broke off. So anyway, we got this takeout unit here, and what I want to do while it's still out of the machine is go ahead and pull, I'm going to try to pull this piston out, get it cleaned up, pull it out, check the O-rings on it, because it's just, there's no telling how long this thing's been sitting not being used. So I need to pull the piston out and look at it. There's some pitting there on it, but that shouldn't be an issue because that's all outside of where the O-rings go anyway. I'm going to change over my grease zert. I'm going to use the one that I got off my machine out of the other slack adjuster assembly. So I've got a couple parts I'm going to swap over to this unit. But I need to pull this out of there and have a look at it. That's step one. Okay, well, it's definitely not my favorite maneuver, but I got the old piston out. Now, this was one of my favorite maneuvers. Chain on the tractor bucket, double wrap the strap around that, hook on the strap, so you get double the pulling strength of the strap. Pulled it right out. It just pops out like a cork. There's nothing that holds it in there. This one actually pulled the dust seal with it. It was stuck on it, and that's why I'm happy I pulled that out to check. The O-ring that was inside looks okay. It's a pretty thick, pretty fat O-ring. The O-ring looks okay, really. This little plastic retainer ring that goes in there, it broke when I pulled it out, but My other one broke also. They're pretty sacrificial, I guess. And here's the old dust seal off of my old one. You can see I bent it just a little bit. I had to hammer a screwdriver in beside it to pop it out. But it's got enough squeeze and enough play in this plastic seal, plasticky rubber seal, whatever it is, that it will still fit over the piston. So I can go ahead and throw my old piston or this piston, either one. I don't know. I'm kind of hung on which one I want to do. I guess I'll just compare the two and see which one looks cleaner. See, there's that dust seal. That dust seal is all sorts of chewed up and it was broken out on the outside. So again, yeah, I'm happy I replaced it. But I'm going to look at this one. I've got mine right there, pulled out of the old unit, and just see which one I like better. But out of the two, I've got all the parts and pieces. I should be able to put one back in there. So we're going to get that piston put back in. I've already moved the O-rings, so this plastic seal and that O-ring is out of my cylinder. And I don't know that mine's any better, really, than this one was. But really the only reason I changed it was I know on mine I changed one of the pistons. I changed the rings. And I want to say it was on the other side that I did it. Yeah, it was. But anyway, mine's been in service more recently, so I'm hoping that, that's why I want to check just in case there's any sort of dry rot or anything. I know that mine right now is not leaking, or it was not. Probably will now that I've picked the seals out, but they came out really easy. I didn't have to do anything crazy to get them out, so I don't think I damaged them at all. And like I said, it's a pretty big fat O-ring. So let me look at these pistons and get one of them shoved back in there, and then we'll have this thing put back together like it needs to be, and then we'll get it out of the truck here and get that new idler wheel put on. Well, okay, I'll let you guys try to decide which one you think is better. I got to pick the lesser of two evils here. This was the original out of the takeout unit that I just got. It's got a lot of pitting all the way around, just sporadically pitting. Mine is actually really clean, and granted I've cleaned it, but I'm saying it's really clean, fresh metal. There's one gouge here, and there's this big scratch around here, which are both, that's going to be close when the piston is really pumped out. That's going to be close to where the O-ring is at. But again, like I said, I know mine wasn't leaking, so if that's a problem, it wasn't a problem before, so hopefully it won't be a problem again. So I'm getting it wiped down really, really well now, getting all the sand and grit and everything off of it that I can, and then we'll punch her back in there. So here I've gone ahead and slid my dust seal back onto my old cylinder, wiped it all off real nice and clean. Like I said, it's still bent, but I think it'll be okay. I went ahead and slid it on over this side of the cylinder, that way I don't have to take this big nut out to slide it on. You could go either way, but I went ahead and slid it on here, and then I'm going to see if I can pick this sucker up one-handed and put it in there. Just to show you guys, it really is this simple. It just slides in. There you can hear it. Listen. So there, it's that hissing is it just blowing air out of this where the greaser would go as that piston goes in and displaces. So that's a good sign, because that means it's blowing air out of the hole and it's not just pushing air around the O-ring. So at least one good sign. Actually, I'm actually going to pull that back out. I want to wipe that groove out one more time where this seats. It doesn't really matter. It's not a seal, but yeah, I might as well. It'd be stupid to put it in there and not wipe it out one more time. Anyway, you guys see how simple it is. It just sets in there.